Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC show. Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio A. Colon.
And I am Marcus Mack, and this is the EAC show coming to you from sunny South Florida with episode 75. Emilio, we have a guest today.
We do have a guest today joining us on episode 75. We got athlete specialist extraordinaire, body shaping connoisseur, and the owner of ProTrain Athletes, Johnny Todaro, joining us on today's show. Johnny, we appreciate you joining myself and Marcus on episode 75, which is an F-It Friday episode, so you can say whatever you want. It's an uncensored episode. Johnny, we appreciate you joining us on the show, man.
Welcome on, Johnny. Welcome on.
I appreciate you guys for having me on. What the fuck is going on? It's F-It Friday, right? Let's go. Had to drop it first, man. I always got to be the first, man. Let's go.
That's what's up. Now, Johnny, why don't you do us a favor? Give the YouTubers and some of the listeners of the podcast, give them a little bit of background, a little bit of bio of who you are, what you do, who you work with, please.
So, born and raised in Washington, D.C., the DMV. I was a highly sought-after athlete at a high school, two-sport athlete, baseball and football. Got into a little bit of trouble in college. Went to Old Dominion.
Who didn't? Who did get into trouble? Everybody on this show got into trouble.
You know, I had a hot temper and decided to act a fool. So I unfortunately cut my career short at Old Dominion. And I was a little devastated about that, but through a good family, come from a good Italian family, so they brought me back up, and I ended up finishing out my career at George Mason. While I was there at Mason, I figured that, I'm not gonna be playing baseball or football anymore. So the best option for me is to, train athletes, because I wanted to be, in the trenches and, still a part of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not the smartest guy in the room at all, but I get things done. And
hey, our IQ on this show ain't that high neither, homie.
Well, with the strength and conditioning world, it's one of those things where it's not as easy as picking up weights or making somebody do a drill. There's some thought process that goes into it. There's science behind it, and I wanted to learn from the best. So my junior year, I needed to get an internship. So my grades were trash. I'm not gonna lie. I was barely holding a C average, but I decided to fly out to LA, Los Angeles, and try and get an internship with at the time Athletes Performance, and they weren't responding to my emails or anything like that, and all that nonsense. But I wasn't taking no for an answer, so I personally asked the owner of the company, Mark Verstegen, I'll do anything. I just want to be I want to be training athletes. So he liked the fact that I was really hungry, and he hired me as an intern. So I worked there for about a year, and along the process, I was involved with the 2010 combine, and then from there, I did a good job. I proved myself, and from there on, I was a full-time performance specialist at Athletes Performance, now Exos, and I was just learning and adapting to this strength and conditioning, and then from there, I moved back to DC. I wanted to be closer to my family, and I ended up getting married. I met a girl, and I got married, and I decided to go into business for myself. So from 2012,
entrepreneurship, baby, entrepreneurship.
So from 2012 on, I've been self-employed. I've been training, doing this all by myself. In 2015, I opened my first gym in Rockville, Maryland, and we were just getting it done, man. Was training all guys like Stephon Diggs in high school. Was training all the kids in the WCAC, St. Francis, the Matha, a lot of nationally ranked teams. And I kind of got a name for myself. I was training Obama's kids for a little while. I trained the whole entire Sidwell Friends school, and from there the pros started coming on. started getting guys for the combine again. And, you know, from there on, I was just been really getting after, and I've been kind of known as the combine guy from about 2015 in DC. And then in 2017, me and my wife at the time, we got divorced, and I had to figure it out. You know, I just, it was in a bad situation. I ended up selling my gym, and then I was like, you know what, if you can't beat them, join them. I moved out to Florida. I'm competing with all the top guys, and I'm trying to.
It's sunny South Florida. No matter when it rains, hurricanes, thunderstorms, it's sunny South Florida.
Sunny South Florida. I wanted to expand on what I was doing in DC, and I just knew that all the top guys are never going to come to DC, and I can't get what I need to get done. I want to be known as the #1 combine prep facility in the world, over Exos, over Bomberitos, over all these people that I've worked for over the years. I got a vengeance and a vendetta to, you know, solidify my name as the best, and that's what I'm here to do. That's why I'm in sunny South Florida.
That's what it takes. That's what it takes. Sometimes it just takes the balls to do it. You know, I see you started off. Yeah, he had the cojones to get it done. Now, you see, when you started this off, you said, you know, I'm not the brightest guy in the world. I didn't really have good grades, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you go on in the story and you see how your journey played out. You just had the balls. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Man,
that's one thing I think in any room I come in with some of the biggest balls, man, because you know, one thing about me is I talk a lot, but I back it up, and you know, when I put my mind to something, I'm gonna get it done, and that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to showcase these athletes, that you can unlock your you know, most people, everybody has a genetic potential, but most people don't truly unlock it, and that's what I'm here to do, is to help the youth, help all these guys and girls conquer that journey of reaching their genetic potential, because we all have one. We're all destined to be great. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, I found out later on in my life, you know, when it was too late, that I was exceptional. I showed up to everybody, you know, wants to show up, you know, but it's all about showing up at the right time. And unfortunately, I showed up too late, but I'm making sure that everybody that's under my wing, everybody that trains in the ProTrain camp, that they always show up on time, and that's what it's about, showing up. So.
Well, you know what? You see that same energy that you got, Johnny. That's that same energy that you keep and you give to your clients to keep them motivated, to keep them inspired. I got a question, right? I know you do. You train guys and girls, obviously, from different sports. Mm-hmm. What is like your process in creating a regimen, or you just do like for performance enhancement, or you do therapy and stuff too?
Great question.
So I actually have a physical therapist that is on staff that works with directly with me. I stay in my lane. I'm all things performance related. I'm a movement specialist. So when athletes come to me, it's all about jumping higher, sprinting faster, getting bigger, stronger, faster. That's what they come to me for. And all the nicks and bumps in between, I refer out, and I use my people that I trust and know what they're doing. Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm asking is like, what is like your process to keep these guys motivated? Because like I was saying, you know, you see how that you got that vigor and you got that energy. Your main thing is performance driven, keeping these guys going and reaching a new bar to what they're already doing, taking them to that next level. How do you keep each of your clients motivated differently? Because you deal with different sports, men and women.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you guys may or may not know, motivation comes within. But one thing that I pride upon myself with my athletes is I just show them that it is possible, and that, you know, I'm doing this shit myself. Like everything that I have my athletes do, I do with them. I'm in the trenches with them at times. I sometimes I just jump in with them, lift. Sometimes I'll jump in and sprint. Sometimes I have to, you know, appear to as them to motivate them to do what I want them to do. I found that that's the best way to motivate anybody that's kind of in that in between, or
just ride with them.
Ride with them.
Ride with them. Yeah, that's a fact.
You know, and that's and you know I've had tremendous success with that. Tremendous success with that.
That gives them
I
that
think
little bit of nudge, that little bit of push, just in case they get down and they're like, and you see Johnny doing it, like, damn, if he's doing it, then I could do it too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's one thing that I pride myself on. I practice what I preach. I wasn't always like that. You know, when I was married, I went through a really bad depression. I gained over 100 pounds. So I was 300 pounds like 3 years ago. I was 300
Woo!
pounds. Yeah, I was a big boy. I was a big boy.
And I don't know if y'all seen the pictures lately of Johnny, but Johnny is not 300 pounds anymore.
He looking
No.
Johnny looking like a chiseled version of like what's the David, the statue of David? You know what I'm saying?
Because here's the thing, right? You know, I'm a big advocate for self-help, self-improvement, and getting off your ass and making something happen, you know, but I exercise regularly myself, and there's nothing like having somebody there with you. I don't care how much you say you're gonna push yourself, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. When you actually got somebody there with you who's putting in that pain, set after set, tears, blood, sweat dripping right there with you, there's nothing like it.
It's a beautiful thing. I think it's a bond that, you know, when you're actually getting after it in the trenches with somebody, that's a special place that they haven't, you know. One thing is for sure, I probably, you know, trained over 1,000 athletes in my own personal business, and I can honestly say I've impacted them in some small way to where these lessons that they learn in the gym, they'll never forget, and they'll carry on, whether it's in professional sports or in the real world, because I feel like in life, there's nothing you can't learn from the gym, you know, because it's all about failing and getting over those failures, and that's what I truly pride myself on with my athletes is, look, man, not every day is going to be a PR. Not every day you're going to, you know, PR in a sprint or in a jump or in a lift, but we just got to get that a little bit something better. Maybe you showed up a little earlier. Maybe you know, you did an accessory lift a little bit better. But, you know, it's called, you know, we just need one game day victory every time you're in there with me. And those little game day victories add up to big victories, which go on to bigger and better things. And I think that's the culture I'm building with the athletes I have right now and the athletes I've had in the past is the culture of just that mindset of always for just trying to get one little thing better.
John, before we get into the actual training and the questions, some of the questions that we have for the show, can you just let the audience, the YouTubers and the listeners know what is PR? We know what PR is, but what is PR when you say PR?
A personal record, whether that's a personal record in the bench press, the 40-yard dash. You know, we have different indicating exercises that, you know, if you do better in that, that's a better, that means your performance is getting better, and we're going on and we're becoming better athletes. So we have benchmarks for different lifts, different sprints, different jumps that translate to the field, or just something that we, you know, want to record and make sure that
Crazy
you know,
thing is some people might have heard PR and be like, what is that? Public relations?
Puerto Rico?
What is Puerto Rico? What is that? Press run? What?
Oh man.
So Johnny,
personal record.
You know, through sports, through training, through everything that we're going through, even through this, you know, this whole interview, and we do appreciate you joining us on episode 75. We're doing it through Zoom. You know, it's unprecedented times that we're living in. So can you please let us know, how are you preparing some of your athletes that are getting ready to go play NFL or MLB or whatever it may be? How are you preparing some of these athletes in this COVID-19 situation? Like, I know the recovery has to be different. I know the preparation of training has to be different, because this is like unheard of.
So with our athletes that are reporting to camp and getting ready for season, you know, the biggest thing is we want to make sure that their general preparation for football is at an all-time high, because we don't know when that, you know, we don't necessarily know when that's going to be. You know, we skipped OTAs, we skipped mini camp. So the main thing is just their general physical preparedness has to be at an all-time high. They have to have certain bench, they got to be ready. Guys that are free agents, they got to be ready to run 40s. Guys that are on a roster, they got to be, in camp shape. And what I mean by that is body fat is good. They're strong. They're moving well. They're addressing all injuries, everything like that. So really, and everything is the thing that's crazy about this year is there's really no end date to training. It seems like, so we're just always constantly hitting weekly micro cycles of let's make sure that we're not doing too much, and we have that nice little taper off, so that if they do have to go to camp, if they do have to report, if they have to go run a 40, that they're going to go be able to do so. Because with athletes, the biggest thing is the recovery, and being able to recover and being able to get up the next day and go play football.
So is recovery even stressed more now than ever?
It's at an all-time high. So we're making sure that our guys are hitting Normatec recovery. They're hitting ice baths. They're hitting cryotherapy, IV therapy. We're making sure they're getting massages at least once a week. We're making sure that everything is situated to where their body is feeling in tip-top shape, because we're waiting on calls. We're waiting. Some of my guys are waiting for teams to look at them, or they're getting ready for camp, and now we got guys in camp right now, and that's really what we're looking at for.
Marcus, you, or you want me to keep going?
No, go ahead, Rod.
Oh,
go ahead, Rod.
So that leading into that, now staying in that realm somewhat, what do you think, in your opinion, and we've discussed this because I've sent you a DM and Marcus has seen the same DM, and it's literally a DM of the Denver Broncos walking through like you're at an airport and they're misting them with like sanitizer. What do you think some of the dangers of football are returning from the coronavirus? Because me and Marcus both agree that that's just optics, because in all actuality, that sanitizer is going to come off them by the time they walk on the field.
I'm more concerned of CTE than them catching the coronavirus, to be honest with you.
CTE, what's CTE?
Concussions.
It's
right.
Concussion syndrome. So, I'm more concerned with these guys' actual physical health, mental health, and things all field related, contact injuries, non-contact injuries. I think that what goes, football is the most dangerous sport, if not one of the most. Next, maybe MMA is probably a little bit more dangerous, but these guys take a toll on their bodies, and I think with what's going on right now with COVID, we're probably looking at an accelerated camp. So this might be, the thing is when we're going into camp in August, this is the highest rate of injury in football. And that's high school, college, pro, youth. This is the highest time. This is the highest time of injury rate. And the reason behind that is because football is about 40 years behind when it comes to the approach of getting these guys physically prepared. What I mean by that is,
elaborate on that. We discussed it off record, but elaborate on that for me, please, Johnny.
So these guys doing conditioning tests and all these things, football and conditioning, and running till you puke, and the 110 gassers, and all these conditioning guidelines that these coaches from, this is going all the way down to high school and youth, that are making them do is actually increasing the risk of injury more than decreasing. And honestly, I think with what's going on right now with COVID, they're going to accelerate and kind of skip over a lot of things, which I think you're going to see a lot less injuries in August this year, simply because they're going to get straight to the work. And the work is not what's killing our guys. It's the lead up to it, where they're doing 110 gassers, they're doing conditioning tests, they're doing all these different things to quote unquote weed out the bad apples, and then go play football. And that's what's killing our guys. So honestly, I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this plays out with what's going on with camp right now. I can almost guarantee you're going to see at least 20% less injuries this year in August than you would in previous years. And I hope that would open some eyes of, oh, maybe we don't need to do all this shit that we're making these guys do, which has been going on for the last 40 years, you know.
Well
so
said.
that's my opinion on everything. In terms of what's going on for camp right now. So
Marcus, just for the record, let me get everybody on page here. Marcus, do you think that the NFL finishes a full year with no hiccups, no nothing?
No.
Johnny,
You talking about you talking about as far as like testing, positive testing?
No. I mean just like literally like there's no pause in the season.
No.
Johnny.
No. I honestly think it's not happening. No.
By week 4, there will be some form of stoppage or postponement, in my opinion, without question. By week 4, I'm being dead serious.
Well, my whole thing is, you know, if there isn't at this point some form of preparation or something that they can do to try to keep the rate at bay, like the way how the NBA did the bubble and whatever. If there was a way that they can do that, then they'll be in better shape. But I'm quite sure if they haven't done it already, then there is no way, or nobody has thought about it yet, huh?
No, absolutely. I mean, I want to see an NFL season. I know Johnny wants to see an NFL season. We all want to see an NFL season, but I just think it being the most physical and most contacting sport, the offensive and defensive linemen touch each other on every play. You know, the probability of just keeping this virus contained is, I just don't see it happen. I want it to happen. I just don't see it happening.
Now, if they test, here's the thing. If they test regularly, right? They test every day, every 2 days, feel what I'm saying? Then it'll lower the chance. Because whatever it is, whoever might have it, they might test positive. They can catch it immediately before the game. And as long as everybody that steps on the field is negative, then we should be fine.
From your mouth to God's ears, trust me, we all want to see. We all want to see an NFL season with no hiccups.
And of course, the players follow protocol. Of course, that's the biggest thing.
Now, Johnny, I sent you a DM. I sent you a DM.
Wait. I want to know why he just giggled. Why did he just giggle at the protocol part? Why did he giggle?
Look, man. I've been around these guys for a long time. I'm not gonna name any.
It ain't happening.
Protocol. Look, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. The NFL.
Plead the fifth.
Hey, man, it's fucking Friday. I'm ready to let loose, man. I'm telling you right now. The NFL gives these guys so many resources to not fuck up, and they still fuck up. I've seen it personally. like here's an example, and this is, I don't even need to name names. I'm just giving you NFL resources. The NFL has car services for these guys, where all they have to do is call an NFL rep that will send out a car service to pick these guys up, drop them off at the club, everything like that. They can get smashed, and they still drive home drunk.
Stupid.
Like, how is that? Like they have that resource. It's free. They don't get charged for it, and these guys still get DUIs. And on top of that, we all know when these guys drug test. We know when they drug test, and they know it's the same date every year. All right, but yet they're still coming back. Like, I mean, so the protocol and the chances that I think these guys have a higher chance of being able to be COVID free than follow protocol that relate. And I got love for all my guys, but these guys, look, when you're getting hits 50 times a game, like they gotta have their blow off steam time.
Their downtime.
They gotta have that. I mean, you know, they gotta have that. And
Yo,
if you limit
they gotta
that,
have the Dennis Rodman moment where Dennis Rodman was fucking Carmen Electra in the middle of the Chicago Bulls
Baby.
arena.
oh, funny thing about it's funny you say Dennis Rodman. I was at the Hard Rock Casino like what was it 3 weeks ago. I'm waiting on. Is this a family friendly show?
F it Friday today. F it
I'm
Friday.
waiting on this. I'm waiting on a female friend. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go play a hand of blackjack. So I'm playing a hand of blackjack, and you guess who sits down right next to me? Dennis fucking Rodman. Dennis fucking Rodman with a 22-year-old white girl, this basic white girl, just, and I'm like, that's Dennis Rodman, and he's right next to me playing a hand, talking shit, and yeah, man, I'm like, holy shit, there we go, you know. I was like, you know, it was just funny, and then he gets up, and then all these people are like, yo, Dennis, and he just does this little like shimmy shake out of the way, like juking and shit. It was just, it
He
was
probably
so funny.
was on so many vitamins and so many pills and so
Oh,
many drinks and.
I mean, he was, you know, he was incoherent at best. I mean, he was just, he was slurring. I mean, I think that's just how he talked. I mean, I've heard him in interviews, but he was slurring his. I couldn't make out half of what he was saying. I'm like, I guess that's how he talks. I don't know.
Marcus, remember the bag with the 14 bricks? He
Yeah.
probably had one of them.
Well,
There's 14 bricks in that bag?
There's 14 in that bag.
In that bag right there?
No. There's 13 because Dennis took one before he went to the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
oh man.
So I sent Johnny, I sent you a DM, and this is something that we did early in the year. We had an episode where we came up with sports-related movies, almost in a sense. And Johnny, we wanted your opinion on some of the movies that were completely and utterly spot on or realistic in your opinion. And we also wanted your opinion on movies that you just thought were fucking funny as shit and just you had an amazing time watching and you will watch it over and over and over again.
Well, first and foremost, Remember the Titans is my all-time favorite
sports movie ever?
Maybe yeah, I mean, you know, I'm from the DMV, and that was based out of Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay.
So I'm from the DMV, so it's close to me, and I actually got a story about Herman Boone. So I was actually training at Hayfield High School. I had a kid that's actually now at LSU there, and I was actually, you know, I was really pissed off at them because they were talking shit to each other, and they just lost a game that they weren't supposed to lose. And I had this little speech, and I guess I got through to them, whatever. But I'm walking to my car, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Man, I like it. I like what you said, man. You're 100% right. These kids, they need to understand that, this isn't fun and games time. They need to be winning." And it was Coach Boone, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's Coach Boone." So, but remember the Titans for me is I think it's more than it shows more than just football. It's about it's about life, really,
Right.
and what they had to overcome with that racial barrier and go undefeated, and it just moves me every time I watch it, because I think that's real coaching right there. Aside from the craziness of the stuff that you still see today, but I like any movie where they show good coaching, and good coaching is being able to get athletes to do what you tell them to do.
Absolutely, without question. Now, we came up with a whole bunch of other ones. We had, Major League, which is obviously a classic. Some people said Love and Basketball, Angels in the Outfield, Friday Night Lights, whatever.
I ain't gonna lie. He looked like a Any Given Sunday dude to me.
Man, I love Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
So the one that we all agreed on that literally we left out, but we know it's a movie that's classic without question, but it has a cultural influence that we all can relate to. We all can relate to this movie for various reasons. Is He Got Game.
Come on now.
That's a fact.
That's my boy.
Now-
That's Denzel. That's Brooklyn.
Other than the fact it's definitely in Brooklyn.
No, yes. Okay, it's in Brooklyn. Wait. But the main reason that we all tune in to watch that movie is because of Rosario Dawson and those chicks when Jesus Shuttlesworth went to college. Just tell the truth.
Woo! Hey man, I plead the fifth on that because I remember my college visit. Oh man,
Rosario Dawson played the role that is in every high school on the East Coast, all the way from Maine, all the way to the tip of Florida. There's a girl that looks just like her in every school.
Would you believe me if I told you she hollered at me like 8 years ago at a party? Would you?
No chance.
My hand to God. My hand to God.
Yo, don't put God in this, man.
Okay. All right.
Wait, did you choke? Did you choke?
I was 22 at the time, and she comes up to me, and she was like, "You are looking very good today." And I just was like, "Holy shit, that's."
He wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
I was not ready. I swear to God. All right, we're gonna take God out of this, but I'm telling on a lot. I'm not lying here. She hollered at me 8 years ago, Vanity Fair party, Washington D.C. It's on. I'm telling you right now. That was my childhood crush. Kids, man. You remember Kids? That was my
Kids. Oh my God! Of course, without question.
Yeah, that was her. Yeah, nah. So, anyways.
But listen, Johnny, we definitely got to have you back on another Epic Friday episode. Please, you coming back on? You jump back on with us?
I'm jumping back on, man. It's fucking Friday. Anytime, I got y'all.
I appreciate you. Listen, this is going to conclude episode 75 of the EAC show. Make sure you click like, subscribe on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. I'm Emilio A. Colon. That is Marcus Mack. That is Johnny, Mr. Specialist. Todaro, Johnny, we appreciate you. Make sure you check us out, episode 67. Marcus, send us off.
Speculation talk over.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC show.